gift for that.
Yay, sweet. All right. Oh, everyone, welcome to Sass Bites. This is episode 51 as we continue our road to Sass Conf. Sass Conf is the Sass conference that happens every year, at least the last 2 years. This year is October 2nd through 4th. And we've got a couple great things happening today. For one, we've got a coupon code that you can use right now to get $75 off your ticket to SassConf if you use it between now and you've got basically a 2-hour window to go ahead and use that. So if you go to sassconf.com, I believe it is, you can use the coupon code SassBites, SCPT for September 4. So SassBites SEP4. I'll tweet that out at the end of the show as well so you can catch all of that. And if it's, do you know, is that, it might be capital case sensitive or not. We'll find out when someone uses it. Sass Bites September 4. I'll tweet it out. Life will be good once we figure it all out. So with that long introduction done, today we have on our show, we've got two guests, Jina and Elyse. They are so infamous that I just don't even worry about their last names anymore. So and they're giggling in the back. Jina is a senior product designer at Salesforce. She also leads up Team Sass Design. So when you have complaints about the website, she'll just say, create a pull request. And, and it works great. She also leads up the Mix-In San Francisco, as well as Art in My Coffee, which I did check, and you had some new posts in there the last couple months. So good on you for getting some updates in there. Our other guest today is Elyse. Elyse Holiday, if you do need to give her a last name. She is a dev-designer, as some people like to call it, dev/designer at Maker Square. She speaks all over the place, as well as obviously speaking at SassConf this year. She's also a wine lover, gift maker, and she runs or co-organizes ATX Sass out in the Austin area. I almost said Atlanta. Oh, that's not horrible. So really bad. So with that whole thing butchered, welcome to Jina and Elyse. How's it going?
Good. Hi.
Good, good.
Well,
We're glad you guys can make it. You both are going to be giving a talk, see, I lost already, a
workshop.
workshop. It's one of those words that just right out there. They're going to be giving a workshop at SassConf this year, which is really awesome. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. First, I want to talk about, you were both at SassConf 2013, the inaugural conference of SassConf. I want to do a quick talk about how that went and some of the highlights. So, for one, you both went, so that question's done, right? I want to hear from both of you. What was your favorite sessions? What was the talk that you enjoyed hearing the most? If Jina, you want to start?
Sure. Yeah. I liked all of them, but I really liked the Q&A at the end with Natalie. Super, super informative, and I always like when Eric talks. He's great. What else did I like?
You get one. That's all.
That's one? Okay, fine. There you go.
All right, Elyse, what about you? Did you have a favorite talk?
I will admit that I didn't, Gina, I didn't see your workshop. I'm sorry. I have to make it up to you by doing this one. So I was in the Q&A, so thank you. That was really fun. I felt like a good wrap up, kind of at the end of the whole conference. I don't know if they're doing that again this year, or doing something kind of similar on the third day or what, but that was really fun. But I think my favorite session was Jackie Balzer's session, where she did the weather app. And she talked about using Sass to do actual programming. And it was the very last talk. And I think everybody's brains were just scrambled eggs, like watching her. It was, I think most of us had no idea what she was even talking about, but it was really, really incredible and just super, super fun to watch. I've gone back and watched the video actually like twice since then, just to try to figure out like, what is she doing? But I think it was my favorite. It was so cool.
It's a good thing they recorded that.
Yeah, I know. I'll send you I'll tweet the video link after.
Awesome.
And share it back out.
Cool. So beyond the sessions, one of the things I heard over and over again about SassConf last year, it was way more than just the talks. It was the overall experience of meeting people and community and those types of things. Can you give us a quick highlight of just a favorite experience, like a certain moment or a certain place or certain event during the weekend that stood out to you? We'll start with Elyse this time.
Okay, so I love mine. I think I tweeted about it at the time. The night after the first talks, I was having dinner with Scott Kellum and Jackie Balzer and I can't remember who else was there. There were a couple other ladies. There was like 6 or 7 of us, kind of equal guys and girls. And the 4 of us women were talking about like football and like our sports watching habits and like college and like all this stuff. And so I tweeted that. I was like, that's, the guys like are having none of it. They were not interested. And so I tweeted about it and I got a response from, I want to say it was John Albert. I'm not sure. I'll have to go look. But he was like, I'm having dinner with a couple other guys and we're talking about our hair and our families. And it was just the perfect, like, the Sass community is so diverse and so inclusive that to me was like the perfect little like microcosm of seeing that, for me, like in person, which was really, really cool.
Awesome. All right, Jina, what about you?
Launching the Sass website. Yeah, that was, oh man, that was like an emotional and energetic roller coaster because I was going on like 2 or 3 nights of no sleep trying to get that thing shipped. And by the time it was like the last day of the conference, I had a talk, my workshop that morning, and the DNS finally like propagated like some time later that day, and it was just like so many emotions. And it was
I think I took a creepy picture like from afar while y'all were over there like in the corner in the lobby doing it.
What was also really amazing was how many people jumped in to help, like, issues with trying to get it working on Heroku or, some, like, there's, like, a lot of, like, back-end stuff that I'm not comfortable with, and, like, so many people just jumped in and just helped. And so really, like, the conference launched that site, which was really awesome.
So you're going to launch a new version this year? Is that what you're saying?
No, not a new version, but there are some new sections that aren't, well, not new, but there's some sections that aren't styled that I'd like to, like the blog, for example, is using a theme. I'd like to style the blog, and I also want to redo the community page, so both of those should be updated in time. People are waiting.
Since we're talking about the website, can I derail this for a second and say how awesome it is that y'all put up the community guidelines? Can you talk about that for a second? Because I think they're awesome.
Yeah, so, as Elyse just mentioned, the Sass community is very, very inclusive, and we, really love having diversity in our community. And we are also, if you look at the brand, it is very feminine, and we found that, unfortunately, some people, when they see a feminine brand and they want to use imagery associated with that brand, they were using sexist imagery of scantily clad women and very suggestive poses in their talks or their articles. And that's not really the type of association that we really wanted to have. And so now that all these like meetups and conferences and projects and everything are coming out more and more frequently, we decided, the community guidelines needed to be published. And so that was a collaboration. A lot of people either giving feedback or just, writing. I forgot his last name. He did the main draft. Ian.
Jericho?
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he wrote the first draft of it, and we went through a lot of revisions, and we're pretty happy with where it ended. And I'm pretty excited to see that there too.
Nice. And if you haven't checked it out yet, it's sass-ling.com/community-guidelines, or there's a link at the footer of the page to get to it as well. So a really great read, and there's also some other great ones down there with the style guide and also the website repo if you do need to do one of those infamous pull requests. All right. So this is the most important topic on my docket is when you go to New York, where do you have to eat? There's got to be in your minds like 1 or 2 spots that are like, that's the place you've got to go and make sure you have that hot dog or that hamburger or that milkshake or whatever it is. Do you guys have something that's like that for you?
Oh man, dog, it's such a hard.
Get your
I know what I want to go do that I didn't get to do last year, and that's go to Momofuku Noodle Bar. So I got to go to the little milk bars and have the desserts, but I haven't actually got to go to any of the actual Momofuku restaurants. So that's on my absolute must-do list for this time around.
Nice. You might have to tweet that one out because I don't know if I'd be able to even get close to spelling that right.
I will. I'll
Okay.
tweet it out.
All right, and Jina, what about you? Do you have a favorite spot?
I have a really terrible memory, and I probably only go to New York maybe once a year. And I tend to go to very different places each trip. And so I don't know that I have a favorite restaurant, but if you have suggestions, I would love to hear them. I do know some bars that I really like.
Okay, that works too. Go for it.
I like the Clover Club.
Clover Club.
Pretty rad.
All right. Yeah, I'll open that up, eat or drink. It can be either one.
Okay.
I'm sure there's plenty of both going on throughout the weekend, so that's not a problem. So throughout this upcoming weekend, October 2nd through 4th, what day is your talk going to be on, your workshop?
The 3rd.
All right, sometime during this weekend, you're going to be doing a workshop, and the title is Choose Your Own Refactoring Adventure. And for anyone that's not old enough to know Choose Your Own Adventure books, I love those things. Until you get squished by spikes or fall in pits.
You always die.
Yeah, you always die. Over and over.
Hopefully our workshop will have a slightly happier ending than
that's good. So
sure death.
So Jina, why don't you talk to us, what is the workshop going to be about? What should we be expecting from it?
Well, it's about refactoring. And, some people aren't fans of refactoring. I think Elyse and I are the few weirdos that actually love it. I like just talking about my process, and it's cool that Elyse will be doing this with me because then there'll be I'm sure there'll be a lot of similarities, but there'll probably also be differences because everyone's very opinionated with front end and organization, and so that should be interesting in itself. And I think the workshop will be awesome because there'll be a mix of skill levels, and the reason we're doing this choose your own adventure style is the workshop could go in any direction depending on who's there. And I'm also hoping to get feedback and maybe some tips from the people attending the workshop too. It's always good to give and take.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I want to backtrack actually just a little bit and talk about how we kind of got on this topic, because this was the coolest part for me. I was in San Francisco for Camp Sass, and I had spoken out there and had lunch or brunch actually with a handful of ladies, Claudina and Jina and some other people from Camp Sass, and we were in the park after brunch having mimosas like outside in the sun because the weather in San Francisco was really, really nice. And Claudina was like, "Oh, are y'all gonna submit talks?" And I was kind of going, "Well, I don't know. Like the only Sass one I have is kind of like an intro, and I don't know if I can make it this year." And we all kind of started talking about it. And she was like, "Well, we don't have any workshop submissions." And then we kind of got on this topic of refactoring, and I was telling Jina, I like the talks that I have about Sass that I've given talk about refactoring and creating systems, not pages. Like I got so much of my talk notes and inspiration from Gina's talks, and so we were just sitting there. It was like this really, it was just a really, really interesting moment. And we were like, we should do something about that. Like there's no workshops, and maybe we should submit one, and like we both are really into this whole idea of refactoring, and I know we've both done that, at our jobs in the past, and so we got on this whole discussion about how is it different in each project, and how do you have to kind of like work within your project constraints, because when you work on a big product application and not clients, you can't just throw everything away, and I know that there are people out there who have this problem who don't have any guidance, and so many great talks, but are all about doing new projects or like starting new client things. And so we were, I think, having a little like moment together, like, oh, this is such a good idea. So I want to see people bring their own projects and be able to talk about their own particular problems. Not like step by step we're going to do these exact things with this sample code, but like your project may be totally different. And how do you work with that?
Nice.
Yeah, in the real world, most people aren't starting from scratch on projects. They're probably inheriting a monolithic code base somebody else wrote, or maybe it's their own code base that they wrote like a long time
Inheriting from
ago.
themselves 2 years ago.
Yeah, and so we just want to help kind of give a game plan that everyone can take back to work with them and know what their next steps will be.
And that's where the choose your own adventure concept came in, because we knew that we couldn't just write a how-to doc, like do these 10 steps and you will have a beautiful, perfect code base with no problems whatsoever. But,
Step one, nuke all your code. Step two, write it all over again.
Easy, no big deal. Done. Step 4, profit.
Yes.
But can we give them, like, can they pick and choose the topics and the parts that they need to refactor and ways that they can work on that in their own project? And so that's kind of where the choose your own adventure thing came from, which I am really excited about as a theme.
So you kind of talked about bringing your own projects, bringing your own ideas, your own struggles, and whatnot. What else do people need to bring? Obviously, it sounds like, do they need to bring their laptops, or they can be doing hands-on work? What's that whole process look like?
So what we're hoping for is, hopefully without giving way too much away, we want to do a little bit kind of lecture talk, and then a little bit of work time, and then a little bit of a lecture talk, and then a little bit of work time. And so we do want people to bring their laptops, and we'll be providing them kind of a doc to fill out, so like a pen or something to write with. But I don't think we're going to be doing a whole lot of, okay, actually go sit down and code this right now. Just because we only have 4 hours, there's going to be a lot of people, and so there's not going to be a whole lot of time to do actual coding work. But we do want people to have their project and their code available so that they can have at the top of their minds, what are the problems that I'm struggling with? Like, where are the places that I really want to change? Like, what's my architecture, and how might I change it based on the talk and the feedback that I'm getting and the feedback from the group of people that I'm sitting with. So, yeah, definitely having their laptop and their actual project code.
Cool.
With them.
Cool. So why don't we go through? We've got a big list here that actually just came directly from your workshop description of all the different things you're going to be covering. Do you want to hit a few of those and maybe just highlight some of the interests, and no, without giving away too much, just some of the things to be going through?
Jina?
Sure. So obviously organization is a big part of it. So that kind of covers a lot of things, like variables and importing and modules and all that stuff. And a lot of people have different flavors of syntax that they prefer. So we'll cover some of the pros and cons to different ways of formatting your CSS and why people use, A versus B. I'm super into style guides, so there'll be a little portion in there about that as well. Just how that can go hand in hand with refactoring and help keep everything aligned.
Definitely.
So far, kind of what we've got is like we have a ton of resources for everybody, and we've kind of divided it up into like some more, I hesitate to say basic, but like CSS to Sass or kind of fundamental Sass stuff. Thank you. That's a very good way to put it. But then versus like some more advanced kind of topics, style guides and kind of doing big refactoring passes that include your HTML versus maybe doing something that's kind of just reordering your imports or redoing your architecture or something like that. It's complicated cascade and extend stuff versus like just doing modules. So some of that stuff we can kind of give some guidelines. Some of it we just can provide some theory and some resources. And sorry, I keep looking out the window because it was 100 degrees and sunny when we started, and now it looks like it's about to pour, which is really strange in Austin. And so like there's trees going everywhere, and I don't know.
Well,
it's
if
really
you need
exciting.
to run, just tell us.
No, it's just really exciting because it doesn't happen here very often. It's been really hot and sunny. So
That'll
anyway,
be hot and muggy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so the point of all that was we kind of divide up into two parts. And so, like Jina said, we'll have people of all varying skill levels. And so, if you're starting, if you have a project that's all in CSS and you don't even have it into Sass yet, like there should be information for you. And if you have something that's fairly advanced built-in Sass, but you know there's places you could improve upon it. There will be info for you there, and hopefully a lot of, like Jina said, a lot of feedback from people in the workshop to each other and hopefully to us also. Certainly we are not the final bastion of refactoring knowledge by any means, but
I'm sure combined you have quite a bit of experience in it, though. So that'd be great to have you both there on that, heading up that ship. So at the end of this whole 4-hour process, what are you hoping to accomplish? What are kind of your goals in that respect?
I'm hoping that if anyone has any fears or apprehension around refactoring, that we kind of kill that with awesomeness and kind of get people excited to go to their projects and
yeah.
Awesome.
That's such a good way to talk about it, because I know that I've definitely worked on projects where I'm like, I just want to throw this all away and start over. Like, it would just be so much easier. But there's something really satisfying about taking some code that you know is not good and redoing it without having to just like rip the entire thing out and start over. So I think I also would love to send people home with not just excited about it, but also like having some kind of game plan, right? Like, I want to provide them with some sort of like, you have this huge project and like, where do I even start? And like, it's such a mess, like I don't even know where to begin. But maybe give them some kind of game plan that they can take home with them that's like, okay, I can break this down into like small, manageable chunks and actually feel like I'm making some progress without just like feeling like I have to do the entire project at once or it's no good. Like, I have to do it all at once and refactor everything all at once. Because you don't and you can't. And so, that's what I want to give them is like, actually, do these things because these are for your project. Take this.
It's my little gift to you. Take it home.
Like the kitten. Like, it's dangerous to go alone.
Don't worry, they don't scratch much. So that is Choose Your Own Refactoring Adventure. It's going to be a 4-hour workshop on an undetermined date, 2nd or 3rd or something. I'm sure when you show up, there should be a list somewhere. But that is going to be super exciting, and if it goes well, maybe you can take that on the road. And like,
Ooh.
Are you guys considering doing it elsewhere, or?
Well, I think both of us have been talking about refactoring like a lot in terms of doing a presented talk. I don't know. We should talk about that.
That would be really cool. But I mean, I think we could easily expand it to like a longer format, like whole day thing, where you would actually have time to do some of the coding work, and that would actually be really cool.
Yeah, I know. Many conferences have lots of these little workshops, so
that would be cool.
Consider. Yeah, because sadly I will not be there to catch it, which means that you need to do it again somewhere.
Okay.
Else.
Okay.
So
let us know where you are next, and we'll be sure to come to you.
Yeah, just work on my schedule, please. Okay, so SassConf is October 2nd through 4th. Again, if you have not got your ticket yet, go to sassconf.com and use the coupon code SassBites, SCPT, for September 4, and that will give you $75 off your ticket price. I'll tweet that out as well if you didn't quite catch that or it's not working. But that's it, October 2nd through 4th. It should be pretty awesome out in New York. Hopefully the weather cooperates, and it's just going to be a blast. I'm going to be sad. I'm going to be sitting here next year asking people how it went instead of being there.
Why? Why aren't you going?
There's way too. I'm speaking at CSS DevConf. Our company's got a retreat thing going on earlier in the month. It's a busy month. So it's like 2 kids at home. You gotta choose your battles.
Or choose your own adventure.
Yeah, choose my own adventure. I was trying to fit that in somehow, and
nicely done, Jina. Nicely done.
That's a softball to you. So anyway, next week we're going to continue down this path of Road to SassConf, and next week Smith Schwartz is going to be on. She's going to be talking about building an artful web, and that
she
should
was
be
on our other champagne brunch in the park. She was with us then.
Very nice.
We have a picture of her. Her phone was overheating, so she's like holding it against a bottle of champagne to cool it off. It was good.
Oh, just
That's classic.
Yeah, it was pretty great. So you should be sure to ask her about that.
I will be sure to ask her about it. It might freak her out if she doesn't have the context of this. Like, so remember that one time? Wait, where?
Wait, creeper?
I know. So I appreciate everyone watching live and everyone catching the show afterwards. If you do catch the show afterwards, I think we're going to be doing this coupon every week. So if you didn't catch the $75 off this week, we should be doing it again next week, and you can get that same discount if you watch the show next week when Snick is on. So again, thanks Gina and Elyse for coming on.
Thank you.
It's great seeing you again, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see you in person one of these times.
Well, we'll see you. I'll see you at CSS DevConf.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're going to be there, so it's all good. And if not, we'll just 20 more episodes of the show. We'll have you back on the show for something else. Maybe we'll have you talking about refactoring.
Yay.
Yeah.
Deal. We'll do a post-mortem on the podcast after the workshop.
Which is always a horrible name, post-mortem.
I know, it sounds really morbid. Okay, we'll do a wrap-up.
There you go, much better. All right, so we'll see everyone next week on Sass Bites, and until then, keep sassing and have fun, and catch you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.